Namaskar friends. Today we will be talking about the four basic purposes of life: the Arth, Kaam, Dharma and Moksha, and try to understand how they relate with the goal of attaining nirvana, as well as how they transgress through the various chakras as we are rotating from one mini goal to the next. So, there are four cardinal thoughts that I want to instill in your mind when you are thinking about these sub goals or subset goals of life. The first one is gradual rotation, which means slowly we have to rotate from the lower sub goal to the next higher sub goal to the next higher sub goal to the eventual goal of moksha. So first you have to work with Arth, then Kaam, then Dharma, then Moksha. We'll come to that. So, gradual rotation while uplifting your subset of the goal. Second is, with the gradual rotation, a corresponding elevation of the chakra emotion, which is the 7 chakras that we have. So, gradually ascending and conquering the lower chakras and gradually ascending to the higher chakras. Of course, the chakras will bounce back and forth, but that's your goal, to transgress your emotions from the lower animal emotions to the higher human emotions as you are transgressing the various chakras through the nadi system. The third is no over-exploitation, over-exhaustion, or hanging onto one particular subset goal. And the last one is chasing peace, not pleasure. So chasing small, stable happiness instead of monumental attainments, achievements, heightened delusionary pursuits in the realm of lust, anger and greed. So those are the four main goals of life, and there has to be sat or goodness, balance, equanimity while you are moving through these goals. So let us first come to the point, which is of gradual rotation. This means, as you know, in Shastras there are 4 varnashrams or 4 ashrams or stages of life. The first 25 is said to be brahmacharya, 25 to 50 of grihast, then the next 25 until 75 is vanaprasth, aranyak, and then the last one is sannyas from 75 to 100. Obviously not everybody will live till 100, so planning doesn't always work, but a good idea is to move from one chakra to the next, or I should say one ashram to the next, once you feel you have attained all the goals of that ashram. So it doesn't have to be 25 years, you can cut it down to 10 or 15 years and gradually move. But the direction of utilization of the goals has to follow Arth, followed by Kaam, followed by Dharma, followed by Moksha. So why is it this way? Let's think about it. That you understand in Chakra ascension rule. So when you fulfill the lowest, which is Arth, Arth means wealth, prosperity, money, image, status. So these things are the goal of a celibate brahmachari or the student, scholar, who is trying to attain a lot of either material science information or spiritual science information, but he's trying to gain the knowledge, because knowledge is the precursor to enlightenment. But knowledge is also going to help him through the subtle body, of course, through the spiritual Bhagavad Gita teachings, as well as through the material world, whatever his needs are, whatever he has to do. Because unless you satiate your needs, you're not going to search for the higher truth or the attainment of God realization, enlightenment, prabodhan, whatever you want to call it. So very important to fulfill the basic desires and needs of the body, and that can be fulfilled a lot of times with money. It is always easy to give a lecture in an air conditioned room than sitting on top of the Himalayas and getting hypothermia. So there has to be some element of practicality which will help you attain your goals, and that is why Arth, or attainment of prosperity, wealth, money, image, status, is important to a certain extent. Now, Arth, if you think about chakra ascension, Arth is relating to the lower two chakras. Arth is relating to the Muladhara, which is the meeting the basic needs of the body, which is mostly roti, kapda, makan, or food, water, shelter, and then clothing. And then little going higher is the Swadhisthana, sacral plexus, where you have the needs of creation, procreation, leisure and comfort, the comfort creatures like what we call. All these can be attained with the help of money, wealth, image, status, prosperity, all these through the Arth. But you will see, as you start going higher, these things are not going to help you much. So once you hit Manipura, this is the region of ambition. This is the region of passion. This is the region of strong intentions to do something in the material world to change the status quo, whether it's in the family, society, community, nation, planet. It depends on your magnanimity, how long and broad you can think. But that's the basic goal of the solar chakra. Solar chakra or Manipura is basically a zone of ambition fueled by the fire of the sun, the power of the Pingla. Of course, if it overexpresses, it becomes narcissism. The same confidence which was protecting you as self-respect and helping you prevent fall down can manifest as narcissism and thinking yourself to be superior and better than 90% of the individuals. So that is the fine line where confidence can either become malignant confidence as a tamasic confidence of narcissism, or it can become a lack of self-esteem, low self-esteem because of lack of confidence and doing things which you would not have done if you had self-respect. So again, the Manipura, to some extent you can get from image and status thing, but more so the Arth is going to help you with the lower chakras, accruing wealth, comfort, leisure, those kind of things. But once you cross the solar plexus into the cardiac plexus or the Anahata, the drum that beats without the skin, that is Anahat, because that sound is the precursor of the universe. Of the five Mahabhuts, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, ether, Akash, space. This is the element which is closest to the unmanifest world, and the vibration of the sound creates formation of Sparsh or Vayu. Vayu creates formation of Agni or the Akar, and then Roop, and that creates formation of Ras, or water creates formation of Gandh, Gran, or senses of smell. So basically, the subtler gives rise to the more grosser element in that sequence. But basically, Anahata, it's not going to be helped by your prosperity. Compassion has nothing to do with how much wealth you have, what your image or status is. It's the way you feel when you see someone who is deprived or not having the basic needs that you have. So the passion translates into compassion once you migrate from solar to the cardiac plexus, from the Manipura to the Anahata. And that is kind of a semi permanent move, because at that point you're locked at the lower three chakras. Otherwise, from the lower three, upper three chakras. Otherwise, at the lower three chakras, you tend to move back and forth a lot, depending on the day. You can tell, today I'm feeling like I don't have anything, I need some clothing, I'm gonna go do retail therapy. Or today I'm gonna feel, oh, I need to get more iPhone, MacBook or something, a new one that has come out. Or today I wanna change my family dynamic or something like that. Those things can move back and forth. But once you are at compassion, it kind of negates the need for satiation of the lower three chakras. So as you move from Arth to Kaam, you will slowly feel a change from Muladhara to Swadhisthana. Once you move from Kaam to Dharma, you will slowly see a transgression into more of the compassion center or the Vishuddha, which is the courage center. And once you transgress the Vishuddha, once you transgress the need for satiation of both the Arth and Kaam and the Dharma, the courage, then comes the hard, nondescript language of unmanifest world through the realms of Ajna, Agya Chakra, intuition, as well as Sahasrara, the perpetual, indescribable bliss from submergence of the individual consciousness into the Paramchit, Shiv-Chit consciousness of the supercosmos. So that is going to happen at the level of Moksha. So that is why I said as you move from Arth, Kaam, Dharma, Moksha, you'll see a gradual transgression of the Chakra emotion. And it has to be a gradual rotation. Don't suddenly move from one day from Arth into Kaam. Slowly let it flow just like water. It will slowly find its course to find what is the right time and the magnitude to which you will pursue this change. But you will experience those changes in your emotions, and that's how you can gauge whether you have made the transgression or not. The third thing is avoid over-exploitation, over-exhaustion of any individual chakra or any individual subset goal. So don't dig too deep into Earth. I only need money. I don't need anything else, because after a certain while, in fact, studies have been done in the US where after you make $100,000 in a year, any additional money is not contributing to happiness. Happiness then becomes a manifestation of intrinsic growth. The extrinsic growth of happiness is, of course, money, image, and status, which is fulfilled through the fulfillment of Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Arth, and Kaam to a certain extent. But beyond that, there's a need for validation of my importance, my purpose. Why am I here? The midlife crisis, as we call it. Those things happen because you still do not have inner innate happiness or fulfillment from whatever you are doing. That will only come when you generate compassion, when you move in the realm of Dharma and Moksha, of course, one day, but Dharma more so. So it's important to not keep over exploiting, which is what most individuals do. They try to accrue more wealth, and sometimes they will get validation through attachment to the kids or various sexual conquests that they make outside the marriage or whatever else people do these days. But basically the idea is that they need some sort of empty validation which is not going to help fulfill their inner needs, and money, of course, again is not going to fulfill, and someone creating status by driving a certain kind of car or living in a certain kind of house, property, again that is going to be kind of a jewelry without having any inner beauty. So that's why no matter how much jewelry you put on your body, if you're not good looking, the jewelry can only do so much of damage control. So you have to make your inner soul beautiful. Your antakaran, your inner metal needs to be improved and needs more work. That's where you migrate in the realm of Dharma. Slowly Manipura is also going there. Sometimes you want to change the nation, sometimes you want to change the community, sometimes you want to remove the economic disparity between the rich and the poor, the 1% and the 99%. That element, when strikes you from a position of power, authority, money, image, status that you have already accrued, then you have created a sattvic transition into Dharma to give voice to the Vishuddha or the courage center. I can create that change. So don't over-exhaust trying to make more money either through seeing more patients or whatever investments you do, whatever ways you're trying to get money. Understand that money can bring only so much happiness. Beyond that, collection of money is only going to waste your life, the future time that is limited in your life. Instead of that, you have to shift to the next subset goal, which is Dharma. Dharma implies going to the region that is beyond the self. So even if you are providing good education and good moral virtues you are instilling in your kids, or becoming an example for the other peers in the society, yadada charti sheshta deve torojana sayat pramanam kurute lokastananuvartate. Whatever the great people do, the followers will follow their footsteps and kind of emulate that behavior. If you create that kind of sensation, lead by example, no double standards, you are creating Dharma. You are activating your Vishuddha the courage center. So the compassion has turned into courage, and one day it will turn into intuition through the bliss, through the Sahasrara. But go into Dharma, don't get stuck in the lust of sex and create comfort creatures of Swadhisthana, or aggression of more wealth, more materialism. After 3 iPads, you are buying a fourth iPad. The fifth iPhone 10 is not good enough. I mean iPhone 12. No, understand the basic need provided by that phone has been fulfilled. No matter how many upgrades you make to the phone, it's not gonna bring happiness. Long-term happiness, definitely not. One day of happiness, maybe, but that is again pleasure seeking. That brings me to the fourth point. The fourth point is seek peace, not pleasure. In that spectrum that I have described for you, first people should become desireless, then they become peaceful, then they become blissful. The desireless portion comes from abnegation of the needs of the Muladhara and Swadhisthana that are howling on top of your mind and telling that give all the attention to me. No, once your attention has been given, once I have validated your needs, I move up on my chakra through the feelings that I am generating. Obviously, is how you monitor, but you should not keep accumulating stuff that you don't need, materialism, or keep chasing the same professional corporate ladder goals, the hedonic treadmill, because it's a hamster's wheel. You're not gonna get any satisfaction, fulfillment. It's a negative comparison of envy. The most useless 7 deadly sins is envy. It doesn't make you happy, it doesn't do anything good for you. At least the other 6, including lust, anger, greed, temporarily made you feel good. Not that you should be chasing any of those 6 either. So my friends, try to replace pleasure seeking tendencies, eating, gluttony for that matter, or greed for that matter, with satiation and happiness. It's not that I cannot have it, I don't want it. That is what your mindset should be. A person who has been successful, it's not that he cannot eat an extra cookie. He can afford that cookie, but it's not good for him. He doesn't want it. Past experiences have told us that we don't need it right now. Our work is mostly sitting on keyboards and doing stuff. We are not laying construction work or doing physically exhausting activities like our forefathers did. So the calorie needs has to be cut down. And again, as you grow older, you have to make sure that your sexual impulses are dying out, because there has to be a slow transgression from kama or desire, which include both material and sexual, the need to be validated by another individual, into dharma, which is the growth of the inner metal or the soul through activities that are going to do good to the world. If you want to feel good for a day, take a nap, go fishing. If you want to feel good for a year, they say get an inheritance. But if you want to feel good forever, go help someone. This helping someone is the tendency that you are creating around you, this aura that is going to help you become a better individual and elevate on your chakras and one day attain nirvana. So try to chase peace through small incremental happiness, choti choti khushiyan. That's what you have to go for, and that will create a sense of lighted heartedness and sattvic happiness, and that is what you should go for, not this sudden surge of 7-second surge of lust or sex or eating the sugary fruits, rasgulla in 1 minute and then the fun is gone. So you see, you should not chase a sudden surge of pleasure, because sudden surge of pleasure gives you spike and then it creates the down. The down trough is what the Atma doesn't like, and the surge, sometimes it gets used to it, because we have enormous ability. One of the biggest problems of the human sentience is that it has enormous ability to take things for granted. And that is why so many relationships break down, because especially prana, like women who are a manifestation of prana, if you take them for granted, the dynamicity, rhythmicity will destroy you. So never should a woman be taken for granted, whether she is your mother, sister, wife, especially wives. You will have more trouble. You are better off acknowledging every day how your life has become beautiful by her being in your life, because whatever you do to a woman, she will give it double to you. Prana always works like that. So respect the forces of prana, respect the forces of guna, maya, prakriti, and act with them to break their web. So that is why it's very important to have all these 4 cardinal traits while you're trying to chase the ultimate goal of enlightenment, prabodhan. To sum it up, my friends, have a gradual rotation from the lower subset goals, namely Arth and Kaam, into Dharma and Moksha, slowly as you're moving through life. As you're moving through life with gradual rotation of the subset goals, you will see an ascension on the chakras as transgressed by the feelings. The lower hankering, craving feelings of the lower three chakras, the passion of the Manipura being replaced by compassion, and courage finally followed by intuition into the cosmic bliss of Sahasrara. So gradual ascension should be seen in your emotions, which is a marker that you are gradually moving away from Arth and Kaam, the prosperity and desire seeking tendencies, into more Dharma and Moksha. And one day you even give up Dharma. Sar dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraj aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshaishayi masucha. You leave all your dharmas and come and remember me to my abode, and then I will bail you out of all your sins and all your misgivings. So that is what Krishna says 1861, and that's what we have to remember is the ultimate goal of life. But you need to transgress from Arth Kaam into Dharma before you even give up Dharma. There's nothing else left for you to do in this world. I have nothing left to do in this world, but I still do, so I can model a role for other individuals. So that is the gradual ascension of the chakra emotion. The third is you should not over-exploit any single chakra. Don't over-exhaust scratching from the bottom of the barrel. It's not going to bring you happiness. No more pursuing pleasure. Wealth is going to bring you happiness at some point in your life. No more sex or food is going to bring pleasure in your life. At that point, you are in the midlife crisis because external validation doesn't count anymore. What you do for yourself, for the others around you, compassion mode, courage mode, those are going to make a change in the society, meaningful, helpful change in society, which is going to bring you long-term happiness. And that is why by helping others, you are helping yourself. And the last is chase peace, not pleasure. Don't chase a sudden surge in the dopamine spike, which happens with pleasure, which happens with lust, anger, greed. Rather, replace them with slow sattvic goals of attaining short-term goals, short-term satisfactions, short-term helping other individuals, small goals, either it's in the family or the neighborhood, but most likely creating small, stable, chronic happiness instead of going for the big surge, monumental changes and monumental happiness. Or most of the time, there's pleasure, which after the spike goes down, the trough creates feeling of helplessness, misery, suffering. So my friends, hope you like this video. Please feel free to leave your comments below. Jai Shri Ram.